Hey guys, it's me Taff and welcome back to If My Heart Had Wings part number 8. If you remember in the last episode we met up with Amane and talked about some stupid shit, I don't know, like some plain shit. As you guys know, I'm trying to get to 100 subs by the end of 2020, so if you would consider subbing, that would be really appreciated. Anyways, enough with the boring stuff, let's get right into the video. Didn't you have anything to eat after I saw you yesterday? I only gave her one piece of bread. Amani stopped moving her chopsticks and took a good look at my face. Could it be that you're the person who gave me that bread yesterday? You've only just realized? Well, I was concentrating on something yesterday. She really is weird. Oh, I see. This is the second time you saved me. She looked at me with eyes that sparkled like a little kid's. If she were a dog, her tail would definitely be wagging. Like crazy. I received that bread from you approximately 20 hours ago. Prior to that, the last meal I had eaten was roughly 70 hours earlier. I counted on my fingers. If there are 24 hours in a day, that's 3 days ago. I went to Takeo and I'm not going to try and pronounce that correctly, and ate pork ramen with all the toppings. The soup was rich and delicious. She recalls this and her face looks like she's about to start drooling. Why don't you eat? Are you on a diet? I forgot. Huh? When I'm thinking about something, I forget about everything else. That's because I'm stupid. Amane replied with pride. I'd prefer it if she didn't compare it to when people forget things because they're hungry. Are you building this glider? Yeah. Are you doing that here? The Soaring Club uses this garage as a clubhouse. Soaring Club? I wasn't familiar with that name. What's soaring? Soaring is to fly a glider by riding the rising air currents. Flying a glider by riding the rising air currents, I kind of get it, but on the other hand, I don't get it at all. So the aim of the club is to make them fly a glider? Well, yeah, that's right. So this garage is used for club activities after all. Even so, it's pretty spacious. A glider is like an airplane, isn't it? Is it something that you can make yourself? Yeah, I can make it, because it's a man-made object. There's no reason why you can't make it, right? I have a feeling that's not what she's asking. However, Amane answered the question in all seriousness. How do you make it? Well, rather than explaining it, it's quicker if you actually make one yourself. Hold on a moment, as I said as Amane slurped up the last of the Neapolitan pasta with extremely bad manners. Wiping around her mouth with the tissue, she started rummaging through a desk drawer. Where'd that thing go? Peeking inside the drawer, somehow I get the impression that Amane is a typical disorganized person. Rather than things being put away, it was more like they were stuffed in. Oh, here it is. This is it. The thing Amane had taken out was a paper airplane construction kit made using cardboard. Okay, try to make one. Without thinking, Katori and I looked at each other. Bruh, so we gonna make an airplane? I feel that manufacturing a glider and making a paper airplane are completely different things. But for now, I'll try doing as she says. Using glue and a craft knife, in about 10 minutes we had finished the paper plane. Finished! All done. Amane takes the plane that Katori had made and takes a good look at it. Then, she threw it. The paper airplane floated gently as it flew and landed near the wall on the other side of the garage. It flew straight forward very nicely. It's a good plane. Katori seems embarrassed at being complimented. Thumbnail, let's go. There are many types of airplanes. There are jumbo jets, small
Cessnas, fighter planes. Then there are paper airplanes, like the one you just threw. But all of them fly based on the same principle. Paper airplanes and jumbo jets are the same? Yes, the principles are the same, using their wings to float on the air in order to fly. Katori and I both tilted our heads in puzzlement. We both had a skeptical look on our faces. I can understand that a light paper airplane can fly by riding the wind, but it's hard to imagine that a giant hunk of metal can float in the sky on the same principles. There must be some other method that allows it to fly. Amani goes to pick up the paper airplane that she had just thrown. I'd like you to take a good look. Can you two see what the difference is between this airplane and this paper airplane? The size and the material? Also, whether or not people can ride on it? That's right. Then there's whether or not it has an engine. On the other hand, everything is the same. Here we have the principles of flight. Regular airplanes are made from mostly the same parts as this. First, there's the body. Next are the main wings. The horizontal tailplane. The vertical tailplane. There are a few airplanes that have a somewhat quirky shape, but even in those cases they still have mostly the same parts, or other parts that fulfill a similar role. When she puts it like that, I guess she's right. I never paid much attention to it though. By the way, do you know how an airplane floats on the air? Because it has lift. That's right. Like the force of a fluid moving over a wing, lift is said to be a vertical component in accordance with the direction of the flow. I don't know how I didn't fuck that sentence up, but I guess I didn't. I look baffled again, and Amane smiles and rephrases it. In other words, it's the force that makes the wings float up in the air. Lift is created here, on the main wings. When air hits the wings from the front, the airflow divides going over and under the wings. I can just imagine the wings cutting the air like a blade. At that time, there's a difference in the speed of the airflow above and below the wing, and the pressure drops on the side that has the faster airflow. That's Bernoulli's theorem. Amane nods. Standing beside her, I'm a little freaked out as she so comes out with a word like Bernoulli. What the hell is that? We were taught that in class, right? We didn't learn that at my school. Maybe. That's why the airplane wings are designed so that the air flows faster on the upper side. This is in order to lower the pressure on the upper side. By doing this, the pressure on the lower side is higher in comparison, and then the air lifts the wings up. The air lifts the wings up. It's a phenomenon that's hard to suddenly imagine. So that's Bernoulli's theorem. Amani nods as if to say yes. There's one more thing. The air flowing over the top of the wing bends downwards because of the wing's surface, causing downforce behind it. As she explains, Amani is drawing a cross-section of a wing. According to that, an airplane's wings are flat at the bottom and the top is shaped like a mountain, so it seems like it is semicircular. Apparently, the air on the upper side flows along the raised curved surface and then bends to flow downwards. As for the question of why the air flows along the raised surface, it can only be said that this is because of the nature of the air. Or so it would seem. This downforce, according to Newton's third law, causes the same reaction on the wing, which lifts it in an upward direction. The reaction lifts up the wing? When a heavy basketball hits the ground, doesn't it seem that it's floating weightlessly? It's the same as that. Does that mean when the wing drops in the air, the reaction causes it to float? So, when the lift exceeds the weight of the airplane can fly through the air. For example, it's the same for a jumbo passenger airliner with a total weight of several hundred tons. Theoretically, that may be so, but I still couldn't imagine how enough lift to cause a several hundred-ton airplane to take off could be created. However, airplanes do actually fly in the sky. The main wings that create the lift are the parts necessary to make the airplane fly in the sky. I don't know if I understand or not. However, I understood that the main wings are the most important part. Next are the tailplanes, of which there are two types, vertical and horizontal. These are added to stabilize the position of the airplane when in midair. An airplane floats in midair, which is much more unstable than we humans are when we are standing on the ground. The one going straight up is the vertical tailplane. This stabilizes lateral movement. The ones extending out sideways, the same as the main wings, are the horizontal tailplanes. These move vertically, in other words, stabilizing the up and down movements of the nose. Without this, even a paper airplane won't fly straight. I see, so that's why they have small wings on the tail. Then there's the body. This doesn't have a direct relationship to flight, but if you don't have this, then there's nowhere to attach the wings. And that is the basic form of an airplane. That hasn't changed since a long time ago, since the era of the Wright brothers. Since that long ago? But the Wright brothers were the first people in the world to fly a plane, right? So nothing has changed since the very first one was made. The Wright brothers were the first to fly using powered flight. Gliders were being flown even before that. Yeah, I guess so. I always thought that the Wright brothers were the first to fly. If you know the role of the wings, you should try it on this paper airplane. For example, if you were to bend the vertical tailplane a little like this, the plane that Amane threw curved gently as it flew. Also, if you curve this part of the main wings a little, she bent the left and right main wings so that they twisted at the back. It's gonna do like a twist. This time the plane twisted as it flew. Hey, that's pretty interesting. Seeing this, Katori started to adjust the tailplane on her own paper airplane. Watch this! Full of confidence, Katori threw her paper airplane. Whoa! Ah! It did a beautiful loop-de-loop before landing. That's cool, it did a loop-de-loop. This paper airplane was really interesting. Katori and I both got really engrossed in adjusting the wings and playing around. Sometimes the paper airplanes displayed some mid-air aerobatics, and other times they didn't fly at all and crashed into the ground. However, by trying it ourselves, we were able to get a real understanding of the role of the wings. By just changing the shape of the wings a little, you can make them fly in many different ways. Actual airplanes have much smaller wings, such as ailerons. The aircraft is controlled by just adjusting them. As she explained, Amane moved to the side of the garage. Then she lovingly laid her hand on the glider. This glider doesn't have an engine. It is like a bigger and more robust paper airplane. The only thing that has been added is a cockpit. Katori and I looked at the paper airplanes in our hands. I imagined riding it and flying it through the air. This is just like the fantasies I envisioned as a kid. The glider in front of me was the real thing. How about you? You just felt like you could make one, didn't you? But it doesn't have an engine. How does it fly? Paper airplanes gain thrust by being thrown by people. By riding the wind. Both I and Katori gazed at the white aircraft. That day, we saw this flying from Windmill Hill. Riding the wind, that expression expresses it so perfectly. The way it flew was so smoothly and calmly. Riding the wind. Amani nods happily. Then, anywhere? Yes, you can even go above the clouds. Above the clouds. Sorry guys, I skipped the line. My bad. Katori looked at the aircraft with an expression of disbelief. I also couldn't imagine that this thing flying above the clouds. Yeah, bro. Have you been there above the clouds? Well, that's Suddenly her mood drops. I only put it together recently, and finally I took it on a test flight. It was that time! Ah! Why you scream, bitch? Katori and I react by exchanging glances. The wings weren't strong enough and snapped halfway through. Huh? So you mean... Yeah, it was pretty dangerous. If they had broken completely, I might have fallen to my death in the lake. Ha 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 ha. I have to rebuild them. It's because I'm not so good with my hands. Also, I know some of the instruments have been broken, but I'm also having trouble getting hands on the parts. Why don't you try to make them yourself? Katori said that so easily at a school where things like this are taught. They have all the equipment you need to make anything. A screw to an aircraft. That's no good either. Amani, with a troubled look on her face, took some broken parts from a drawer. This diaphragm is one of the parts I used to make the airspeed controller. This was a special order in the factory where this was made, shut down a long time ago. Katori and I gaze at the parts in the palm of Amani's hand. It certainly looks like it wouldn't be easy to make. If it's the kind of thing that can be made in the town factory, there might be something that can be done about it. Amani's eyes light up as I quietly mumble. Really? Well, I don't know until I ask, but I know someone like that. Please, if I don't have this, I'll be in a real fix. Okay, I'll try asking him next time I see him. Can I borrow this? Thank you, this will be the third time you've simped for me. Whoosh. Whoa, man, I know I'm a simp, but I don't do hugs. Suddenly she gave me a full-on hug and we're even cheek to cheek. Thank you. Again, I don't do hugs, get the fuck off me. You can thank me once I've actually got it. Oh, yes, I guess you're right, but this includes thanks for lunch. So, let me express my thanks one more time. No, that's enough, seriously. She's big, she got big titties, but I don't want a hug, please, no. Really? Katori's jealous as fuck, bro. Let's go! Katori was suddenly glaring at me. I wonder if this will really fly. Katori and I both gazed at the glider with the same look on our faces. By the way, you two... If you're interested in gliders, The bell rings, interrupting Amane. Amane flinches in surprise and quickly turns her back to us. I'll join the club, man. If we're interested, what is it? No, it's nothing. Forget about it. Somehow, it seems she's avoiding something. Amane? What? Can I come and see you again? Yeah, of course. If you're interested, come anytime. I have to bring her those parts as well. No, we want to see you, not the planes. You two. Come again. Sure. As Katori nods, Amani grins as she nods back. She's really beautiful, but her smile somehow makes her look like a little kid. Alright, shall we go back to the classroom? Huh? I started pushing Katori's wheelchair and decided to start walking. Hey, where are you taking me? The classroom, of course. No, stop! I'm hungry and I haven't had lunch yet. You reap what you sow. I said stop. Hey, don't push me. I brought Katori with me against her wishes and we returned to the classroom. Oi! I went back to the dormitory and someone called out to me when I was at the gate. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please consider leaving a like and a sub, because we're trying to hit 100 subs by the end of 2020. I love y'all guys, and again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I love y'all guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.